Lazy Matilda, and Other Tales ******* Lazy Matilda and Other Tales. Girl reading book in small rocking chair, grandmother in chair nearby. Oh, grandmamma, I'm reading now, the lazy Annie said. I do not want to leave my book, mayn't Mary go instead? Lazy Matilda and Other Tales by Katharine Pyle, author of Careless Jane and Other Tales Where the Wind Blows, fairy tales from many lands etc. Mother snipping strips of plaster, New York, E.P. Dutton & Co. Inc. Copyright 1921 by E.P. Dutton & Company, all rights reserved. First printing September 1921, second printing September 1925, third printing March 1926, fourth printing July 1930, printed in the United States of America. Contents page. Lazy Matilda 9, The Witch and the Truant Boys 27, The Visitor 37, Daddy Crane 49, Envious Eliza 63, The Nixie 75, Stevens Lesson 89, The Caterpillar 99, Mischievous Jane 113, The Sweet Tooth 125, Vain Little Lucy 139, The Magic Man 161, Lazy Matilda, Someone Feeding Cat. Matilda's kind to Pussycat, it shows her gratitude for that. Girl sulking on stool, I feel ashamed, Matilda, to see you such a shirk. I really think you'd run a mile to get away from work. So spoke Matilda's mother approvingly one day, but Matty only shrugged and sulked and turned her face away. Soon mother left her then alone. The door was open wide. On tiptoes Matty crossed the floor, and gaily ran outside. She left her room undusted, she left her bed unmade, indeed she really was a shirk, I'm very much afraid. Matilda running with joy, she gaily scampered across the meadows wide, and chased the pretty butterflies that flew from side to side. And on she wandered until she reached a wood, and there, deep in the shadows, a little grey house stood. Matilda at door of dwarf's cottage, a dwarf was in the doorway, the door stood open wide, a lean and hungry-looking cat was mewing just inside. The old dwarf grinned and beckoned. Come in, cried he, I need a little servant maid, and you will do for me. Matilda sweeping, dwarf relaxing in chair, cat watching, I have no wish to serve you, Matilda quickly cried. But still the old dwarf beckoned her and made her step inside. He made her cook the dinner, he made her work all day. He watched her close, and left no chance for her to run away. Matilda feeding and petting cat, the pussy rubbed about her. Meow, meow, said she. I've been so starved, please look about and find some scraps for me. Whatever I may have to eat I'll always share with you, Matilda cried, for I can see that you're unhappy, too. One day the dwarf sat smoking outside the open door, while Matty worked about inside and scrubbed and swept the floor. Matilda whispers, Pussy, you've served me well each day, and now the dwarf is safe outside I'll help you run away. Cat on haunches pointing for Matilda, the kitchen door is open, so now be off, says she. Yes, Matty whispers, but suppose the dwarf should call to me. You needn't be afraid of that, the clever pussy said, for even if by chance he calls I'll answer in your stead. Now little Matty's scarcely gone before the old dwarf cries, Are you at work? I'm kneading bread, the pussy cat replies. The old dwarf smoked and nodded, but soon again he said, "Are you at work?" "Oh, yes," cried Puss, "I'm shaking up the bed." Dwarf yelling at Cat, who has an arched back again. The old dwarf calls her, "Now what are you about?" "I'm waiting here to catch a mouse, if only he'll come out." "What's that?" the old dwarf bellows. He bounces from his chair, he rushes in and quickly sees that only Puss is there. At once he knows the trick they've played. He catches up the broom, and chases poor old Pussy Cat around and around the room. "Goodbye to you," says Pussy, "indeed, I've had my fill," and up she bounds and out she goes across the window sill. Dwarf swinging broom at Cat, "Come back. I will not beat you." Come back," cries he. "If I must lose both maid and cat, what will become of me?" But Pussy does not heed him. Indeed, she's far away. She's followed little Matty home, and there she means to stay. Matilda's now a useful child, she never tries to shirk, but helps, with ready cheerfulness, at any kind of work. Matilda holding Cat, 3 black cats, the witch and the truant boys which shut in window. John is cleverer than the old witch, and he has her in a trap. 2 barefoot boys carrying fishing poles, with which watching from behind large stone. Peter and John, against the rule, are playing truant from their school. With eager steps away they go to seek a fishing pool they know. But see, a witch is hiding there, she'll catch them if they don't take care. Oh boys, make haste and hurry past. No, she has caught them tight and fast. Witch carrying boys under her arms, and now away with them she hies, in spite of all their kicks and cries. She hurries home and shuts the door, and then she drops them on the floor. "These boys are plump and soft," says she, "a fine fat meal they'll make for me. I'll fill my very biggest pot, and cook them when the water's hot." One boy climbing into box while other watches, but while her pot she's getting out, the frightened Peter looks about. He sees the bread trough open wide, and into it he jumps to hide, then with a bump he shuts the lid. And there he lies all safely hid. But the old witch has heard the sound, and quick she turns herself around. Boy talking to witch and pointing out window, she peers about with blinking eyes. "Where is that other boy?" she cries. "He can't have run away so quick. He must be hiding for a trick. You haven't treated me so well that you can think I want to tell, but if you look outside," says John, "maybe you'll see which way he's gone." Boy shutting window, on which the old witch throws the window wide and leans to look about outside. But while she's peering all around, John creeps up close without a sound, and shuts the window on her tight, and holds it down with all his might. 'Tis vain for her to kick and bawl, John does not heed her cries at all. Boy nailing window in place quick. "Peter, bring me from the shelf hammer and nails. Bestir yourself." Out from the dough trough Peter springs, quickly he fetches John the things. "Here they are, brother. Now, tap tap." John drives the nails with many a rap. He has the window nailed at last, so tight 'twill hold the old witch fast. Boy's running home no matter how she squirms and cries, she can't get loose however she tries. But now the little boys are free to run on home, as you may see. I'm sure it will be many a day before again from school they stay. As for the witch, if she's stuck tight until this day it serves her right. The visitor mother and boy looking at pigs' children should never eat like this, although for pigs' tea's not amiss. Boy eating sloppily while girl sits next to him. John's manners at the table were very sad to see. You'd scarce believe a child could act in such a way as he. He smacked his lips and gobbled, his nose down in his plate. You might have thought that he was starved, so greedily he ate. Mother talking to boy, he'd snatch for what he wanted, and never once say please or, elbows on the table, he'd sit and take his ease. In vain Papa reproved him, in vain Mama would say, you really ought to be ashamed to eat in such a way. One day when lunch was ready, and John came in from play, his mother said, a friend has come to eat with you today. A friend of mine, cried Johnny, whoever can it be? He's at the table, mother said. You'd better come and see. Boy sees pig at this place at table. Into the dining room he ran. A little pig was there. It had a napkin round its neck, and sat up in a chair. This is your friend, his father cried. He's just a pig, it's true, but he might really be your twin, he acts so much like you. Indeed he's not my friend, cried John, with red and angry face. If he sits there beside my chair I'm going to change my place. No, no, his father quickly cried, indeed that will not do. Sit down at once where you belong, he's come to visit you. Boy has to stay next to pig for supper now. How ashamed was little John, but there he had to sit, and see the piggy served with food, and watch him gobble it. John said, Mama, I think your friend would like a piece of bread. And pass him the potatoes, too, Papa politely said. The other children laughed at this, but father shook his head. Be still, or leave the room at once, it's not a joke, he said. Oh, mother, send the pig away. With tears cried little John. I'll never eat that way again, if only he'll be gone. Boy now eating nicely at table while mother and sister watch. Why, said Mama, since that's the case, and you your ways will mend, perhaps we'd better let him go. Perhaps he's not your friend. Now John has learned his lesson, for ever since that day he's lost his piggish manners, and eats the proper way. And his papa, and mother too, are both rejoiced to see how mannerly and how polite their little John can be. Daddy Crane Boy being told to weed garden by mother. Each child should be content to do some useful thing each day, and not be thinking all the time of pleasure or of play. Daddy Crane Ned was so fond of swimming, no punishment nor rule that Mother Maid could keep him long out of the swimming pool. One morning she had set him to clear a flower bed, and do not stop till every weed is out of it, she said. But oh, that naughty Edward! She scarce had turned away when up he rose, and off he ran. He did not stop nor stay. Soon, naked as a little frog, with many a joyous shout, he jumped into the swimming pool, and kicked and swam about. But while he played so gaily, old Daddy Crane, unseen, stood watching him, and grinning, among the rushes green. "I'll wait until that funny thing has dressed, and then," says he, "I'll catch him by the trousers seat and take him home with me." Soon, cooled and freshened by his swim, young Ned comes splashing out. In haste he gets into his clothes and never looks about. Boy getting undressed to swim while large crane sees him now. Daddy stretches out his neck. "Oh! Oh!" poor Edward cries, for Daddy has him in his beak, and off with him he flies. Far, far off by a river, where no one comes to see, old Daddy lives among the reeds, he and his children 3. There he carries Edward. "Look, children! Look!" cries he. "I've brought you such a funny thing. It swims, as you shall see." And now with cackling laughter he throws poor little Ned far, far out in the river, ker-splash! Heels over head. Crane carrying boy by trousers, then how the young ones clap their wings, and laugh and dance about, as, blowing water from his nose, poor Ned comes scrabbling out. "Quick, Daddy, throw him in again," the youngsters cry with glee. There never was a froggy thing as comical as he. In vain poor Edward struggles. His cries are all in vain. No sooner does he get on shore than splash! He's in again. "Oh dear," he cries, while water is mingled with his tears, "I've had enough of swimming to last for years and years." Crane throwing boy into pond while young cranes watch, and so, next time they throw him in, instead of swimming round he hides himself among the reeds, and hopes he won't be found. He hears old Daddy calling, "Hi there! You frog, come out! You needn't try to hide from me. I know what you're about." He hears the young ones rustle round. They bitterly complain, "Oh Daddy, find our frog for us. We want him back again." But quick Ned gathers lily leaves, all broad and green and flat, and fixes them to hide his head as though they were a hat. Boy trying to swim off secretly to get away from Crane, then out beyond the reeds he floats. The green leaves hide him still as down the stream he swims away past meadow, wood and hill. In vain old Daddy hunts about, and little does he dream that Ned was underneath the leaves that floated down the stream. Now Edward's reached his home again. He runs in through the door, leaving a trail of water across the kitchen floor. "You need not scold me, Mother, with chattering teeth," he says. "I've had enough of swimming now to last me all my days." Boy coming in sopping wet to Mother, envious Eliza. Girl watching friends play with toys, Eliza never was content. Indeed 'twas very sad that any child could envy so the things that others had. Envious Eliza, Eliza was an envious child. Indeed 'twas very sad to see the way she wished for things that other children had. Instead of playing like the rest, she'd stand about and whine, "I do not see why everyone has better things than mine. Jane's doll is prettier than mine. John has a better ball. The one Aunt Sarah gave to me will hardly bounce at all. Children playing with toys, my picture book is old and torn and Mary's looks quite new. And Tom has all the building blocks. I wish I had some, too." 'Twas thus the envious little girl complained day after day. She made herself unhappy, and spoiled the fun and play. At last one day when she began with her complaints once more, John quickly gathered up his toys and games from off the floor. "Here, you may have my things," he said, "I'll give them all to you." "And you may have my doll," said Jane, "and all her dresses, too." Eliza taking all of T's toys. "Yes," Mary cried, "and take my books, my grace hoop, sticks and all, and Noah's Ark." "And here," said Tom, "here are my blocks and ball." Eliza scarce believed her ears. "You'll give them all to me, the books and games and toys? Oh dear! How happy I shall be!" The other children ran away, and left her standing there, but since they'd also left their things, but little did she care. Quite happily, all by herself, she played that afternoon. It seemed to her that supper time had never come so soon. Children leave Eliza with toys. Next day, all by herself again, she settled down to play, but oh! The room seemed strangely still with all the rest away. "I wonder what they are all about, and where they are," thought she, and then she called them, "Come in here and play a while with me." "We can't," she heard them answer back. "There's nothing we can do now. We have given all our toys and games and books to you." "But oh! I cannot always play all by myself," cried she. "Come here, and you shall have again the things you gave to me." Eliza looks outdoor for someone to play with the toys and books and dolls and games. "Each one shall take his own. I'd rather never have a thing than always play alone." The children now have taken back the toys they gave to her. The nursery's full of merriment and fun and cheerful stir. Eliza now is quite content to play like all the rest, and never gives a single thought to which one has the best. The Nixie under water, up through the water see her rise, the Nixie with her sea green eyes. Two children playing by water, see beautiful Nixie. Once John and Jane were playing beside a shining lake when suddenly the waters began to stir and shake. And up there rose a Nixie from out the waters green. She was the strangest looking thing that they had ever seen. She called the children gently. She coaxed them, "Come with me, and I will show you castles, and gardens fair to see." "Our mothers often told us," the children both replied, "we must not go with strangers, or evil may betide." But still the Nixie coaxed them. "Come see my lovely things. I'll show you strings of shining shells, and fishes that have wings." She took them by their shoulders, she took them by the hands, she drew them down beneath the lake to where her castle stands. Nixie leading children away, but now the Nixie had them, she lost her pleasant smile. She set the children both to work and scolded all the while. "Now scrub about, and sweep about, and fill the iron pot, and hang it up above the fire to make the water hot. No idling now, you lazy ones, be quick and stir your feet, the while I go outside a bit and catch some fish to eat." Soon as the Nixie leaves them, the children set to work. Indeed they are both so frightened they do not dare to shirk. Nixie no longer beautiful and giving children chores. Just as the work is finished, the Nixie comes once more, and leaves a trail of water across the kitchen floor. Her net is full of fishes. "Here, child, be quick," cries she, now clean these fish and cook them, and serve them up to me. Quick little Janie sets to work, she cooks the fish in haste. The greedy Nixie eats them all, she does not leave a taste. Then after she has finished she lies down on the bed, and snores so loud the rafters are shaken overhead. Nixie brings net full of fish, children plot escape, then Janie beckons Johnny, and whispers in his ear, "Now, John, I'm going to run away. I will not stay down here." But little John is frightened. "Oh dear, I'd be afraid. I know she'd come and catch us." This cruel water-maid children put net on Nixie while she slept. "But I've a plan," says Janie, "it just came in my head. We'll take the Nixie's fishing net and tie her down in bed. Be quick or she may waken, we have no time to waste." So now the little children have set to work in haste. They wrap her net about her, they tie her tight in bed. Now, even if she wakened she scarce could lift her head. "So there, that job is finished," cries little Jane with glee. "Unless someone unties her she never can get free." Now quick the little children run tiptoe out the door, and never stop nor turn about till they are home once more. But for the cruel Nixie, whether she's still in bed, or whether she has wriggled out, no one has ever said. Children run away while Nixie wakes Stephen's lesson. Stephen holding napkin over lower half of face. Poor Stephen is in such disgrace he is ashamed to show his face. Aunt and Grandma looking shocked at Stephen. 'Tis very, very sad indeed when little children choose to say the naughty, ugly words that no one ought to use. That was the way with Stephen. Such naughty words he said that Grandmamma looked shocked and grieved, and Auntie shook her head. Mother explaining to Stephen about the plasters, Mamma said, "Son, I've told you such words you must not say, and yet, in spite of warnings, I hear them every day. So now, my child, I'm taking these sticking plaster strips. I'm going to put them on your mouth and seal those naughty lips." Mother putting plasters on. "But mother, how then shall I eat?" cries Stephen anxiously. "Oh, I will take them off for meals. 'Twill not be hard," says she. In vain poor Stephen pleads with her, in vain he sobs and cries. She lays the strips across his lips in straight and criss-cross wise. Stephen crying with mouth taped shut, mother shaking finger now only sounds like hum. From Stephen's lips are heard, because, with all those plasters on, he cannot speak a word. Now Stephen cannot go to school, he sits at home all day. He feels ashamed to go outside, or join the boys at play. Stephen sitting by window hiding from people walking by, and if he's at the window, and someone passes by, he quickly turns aside his head, lest they the plasters spy. One day, when mother changed the strips in haste, poor Stephen cried, "I do not think my lips could say those words now if I tried." Mother kissing Stephen, "If that's the case," cried mother, "no need to use these slips," and with a smile of joy she kissed the one-time naughty lips. Indeed the lesson had been learned, for Stephen nevermore was heard to say those naughty words that he had used before. Mother cutting plasters, the caterpillar girl holding branch with caterpillar on it. The caterpillar has to crawl. He cannot run or jump at all. Girl catching ball. Anne was a lively child at play, and quick as she could be, but when an errand must be run, slow of foot was she. My child, said Grandmamma one day, run to my room and look, and bring me, from my bureau there, my spectacles and book. Oh, Grandmamma, I'm reading now, the lazy Annie said. I do not want to leave my book, mayn't Mary go instead? Girl reading with grandmother in nearby chair. No wonder Grandmamma looked pained when Annie answered so, but little Mary cried, why, yes. Of course I'd love to go. Come little Anne, her mother called, run down the street for me, and get some thread to sew your frock. Let's see how quick you'll be. Girl talking to mother. Oh dear, I'm tired, Anne replied. Why cannot Mary go? Or nurse? She's not been out all day, indeed she told me so. My child, her mother said, whatever shall I do? You're such a lazy, useless girl, I feel ashamed of you. Girl wakes up with caterpillar feet instead of her own. Your little feet run fast enough for pleasure or for fun, but you can hardly crawl about when errands must be run. But listen now. One day Anne woke and felt quite strange and queer. Whatever's happened to me now? She cried. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh mother, nurse, come in here quick and tell me what is wrong. I seem to have so many feet, my body feels so long. Mamma and nurse came hurrying in. Ah, what a sight to see. Poor Anne. A caterpillar's legs and stubby feet had she. Mother sadly watching girl creep upstairs with caterpillar feet. She scarce knew how to turn herself nor how to climb from bed. However shall I run or play? The poor child sadly said. Mamma and nurse were shocked and grieved, and so was Grandma, too, while little Mary sobbed, oh dear, whatever will she do? But like a caterpillar soon she learned to crawl around, although her legs were now so short she almost touched the ground. 'Twas sad indeed to be so slow when she had been so fleet. No longer could she play about nor run out in the street. Girl bringing book to grandmother. Girl's legs better. Her greatest pleasure was to find some errand she could go, and up and down the stairs she'd trudge with patient steps and slow. She waited on her grandmamma, and on her mother, too. No one could ask her anything she was not glad to do. One day her watchful mother said, it really seems to me Anne's legs are growing long and slim, more like they used to be. She does not have so many now. Her body's shorter, too. I saw her standing up today quite as she used to do. Girl wakes up with own legs again. I've noticed that her grandma said, indeed I hope some day to see our Anne herself again, and fit for work and play. And so it was. For one day Anne awoke to find once more she was the self-same nimble child that she had been before. Then what rejoicings filled the house, all gathered round to see, and as for Anne, as you may guess, a thankful child was she. And never since has Annie lost her willing, useful ways, and her mamma and everyone all speak of her with praise. Mischievous Jane scares nurse. Only see how this naughty Jane is frightening her nurse again. Jane climbing tree. Jane's greatest pleasure and delight was putting others in a fright. She loved to bounce and scream and climb, she kept nurse nervous all the time. Her dear mamma was worried, too, she never knew what Jane would do. Jane grinning in tree. One day she climbed up in a tree. A very daring child was she. Then she began to scream and call, "Oh nurse, come quick. Oh, oh, I'll fall." Quickly her nurse came running out, and anxiously she looked about. "Where are you, Jane? Where can you be?" "Here I am, nurse, up in the tree." Nurse at base of tree, afraid. Poor nurse was in a dreadful fright. "Oh Jane," she cried. "That is not right. Come down. If your mamma should see you know how worried she would be." Jane laughed aloud to see her fright, she thought it such a funny sight. Now higher up the tree she went, on nurse's further torment bent. "Jane falling out of tree now look," she cried. But as she spoke the branch where she was standing broke, and then, a fearful sight to see, down she came crashing through the tree. Her nursie screamed so loud with fear that all the neighborhood could hear. But luckily, when halfway down a ragged branch caught Jane's gown. Jane caught by dress, hanging in tree it stopped her fall, and held her there swinging and turning in the air. Her nurse's cries brought mother out, and neighbors ran from all about. They talked and made a great to-do, but how to reach her no one knew. Till someone cried, "Without a doubt we'll have to call the firemen out. They have a ladder that's so high it almost reaches to the sky." Mamma cries, "Oh, for mercy's sake be quick. Suppose the branch should break." Now clang, 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 the fire bells go. People are running to and fro, and down the street, I only see. There comes the fire company. Firemen getting Jane out of tree quick. Get the ladder up. Look out. Be careful there what you're about. Now up, 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 the ladder goes. It's up as high as Jane's toes. Up further still, it's resting now its topmost rung against a bough. Then quick a fireman, strong and brown runs up and lifts the poor child down. And listen how the anxious crowd that has been watching shouts aloud. No need for any more alarms. He's placed her in her mother's arms. Oh dear. I'll never try, sobs Jane, to frighten anyone again. Mother hugging crying Jane, the sweet tooth mother, and rather rotund Fred, alas poor Fred. So fat is he, only a pig could fatter be. The sweet tooth was our Frederick. He scorned the bread and meat and all the other wholesome things that children ought to eat. He ate the sugar from the bowl, he fed on cakes and pies, the very sight of lollipops brought water to his eyes. He grew too fat to play about, too fat to run or jump, on either side his arms stuck out like handles of a pump. Fred walking down street, it grieved his kind mamma to see how fat and fatter grew her little Fred, in spite of all that she could say or do. One day, with pennies in his hand he set out for a shop, to buy himself some sugar cakes or tart or lollipop. Fred surprised as his growing rounder, but oh, the day was very hot, the sun a fiery ball, and soon the heat made Fred so soft he scarce could walk at all. Oh dear, I feel so queer, what's happening? Cried he. If I should melt in all this heat, how dreadful it would be. Fred, now a perfectly round ball, it is a sorry tale to tell, but greedy ones take heed. Fred's arms and legs and all of him were melting down indeed. They melted till you scarce could tell Fred was a boy at all, for now he looked all smooth and round as though he were a ball. Children find Fred ball that afternoon. The girls and boys came running out to play, and wondering they gathered round the place where Frederick lay. Oh, what a great enormous ball! Let's play with it, they cried, and then they rolled and pushed poor Fred about from side to side. Children, roll and play, ith Fred ball hither and yon. In giddy round the wretched Frederick sped, and sometimes he was on his heels, and sometimes on his head. At supper time the mothers called, now put your ball away. Tomorrow you can get it out and have another play. Ah, Frederick, poor Frederick! Though he lay quiet now, he could not even lift his hand to wipe his heated brow, and now each day they came to play with Fred, until at last his fat began to wear away. They rolled him round so fast. Fred ball becoming more Fred-shaped, the disappointed children said, "Someone has spoiled our ball. It's growing such a funny shape it scarcely rolls at all." One time when they had stopped to rest, Fred's little brother said, "It's queer, but don't you think our ball looks very much like Fred? Fred more crescent-shaped now, and mother and children recognize him. Why, it is Fred," his sister cried. "I know his eyes and nose. And only see. Those are his hands, and down there are his toes." They called his mother out to see. With eager steps she came, at once she knew her Frederick, and called him by his name. Fred in baggy clothes standing before mother in street, and now he found that he could turn, that he could move and rise. He stood before his mother with shamed and tearful eyes. "Oh, mother, mother, dear, I've had a dreadful time," cried he, "but now that I'm a boy again, less greedy I will be." Thinner Fred standing with rotund shadow behind him, vain little Lucy opening box of new clothes her godmamma once sent to her, a frock of ruffled lace. Vain little Lucy! Miss Lucy was a pretty child, but vain as she could be, she loved all sorts of furbelows, and frills and finery. Her godmamma once sent to her a frock of ruffed lace, a flowered hat, and parasol with which to shade her face. And in the box was also packed a pair of pink kid shoes. "Oh dear," her mother sighed, "they all are quite too fine to use." Lucy admiring SLEF in mirror while mother watches, but Lucy cried, "Oh mother, no. I'm sure they're what I need. When I am dressed and walking out I will look fine indeed." And then she begged to put them on, and with a peacock pride she stood before the looking-glass and turned from side to side. "May I go out and show them off?" cried Lucy eagerly. "How all the little girls will stare! And how they'll envy me! Why, Lucy! What a way to speak! her loving mother cried. I am surprised my child should show such vain and silly pride. Lucy in calico, sulking in chair, now go put on your calico, and run outdoors and play. These things were meant for special times, and not for every day. But Lucy has another plan. She sulks, and hangs about, till later in the afternoon, when her mamma goes out. Lucy, with parasol, walking tightly past other girls, then quick she dresses up again in all her frills and lace, and out she runs, to trip along with air of dainty grace. She walked with such a haughty air, she held her head so high, the other children scarcely dared to speak as she passed by. But even as, with scornful air, she minced along the street, there came a sudden rushing wind that swept her from her feet. It caught her by her parasol, it caught her by her frills, it swept her up into the sky, and off across the hills. No knowing where she would have gone, still driven by the blast, but luckily a branching tree has caught her skirts at last. It catches her and holds to her, it will not let her go, whatever will become of her poor Lucy does not know. Lucy caught up by parasol and flying away in vain she twists herself about and strives with all her might. Oh, dear kind tree, she says to it, don't hold me quite so tight. The tree replies, my branches shall quickly set you free if you'll give me your parasol to wear as finery. Oh, take it, do, cries Lucy. I do not care at all, if you will only set me free, but do not let me fall. So now the twigs and branches bend back to let her go, and safely Lucy clambers down into the field below. Lucy caught up in tree-ith finery, now Lucy looks about her with frightened, tearful eyes. Oh dear, I'm lost I fear. What shall I do, she cries. High overhead a raven is sitting in the tree, I know the way you ought to go. Cries Lucy, tell it me. Oh, it is not for nothing I tell the things I know, but if you'll let me have your hat I'll tell you how to go. Alas, I meant to keep it, and wear it for my best. But take it, cries poor Lucy. 'Twill make a pretty nest. Lucy gives bird her hat, now with his wing the raven points, there yonder lies your way. And off Miss Lucy runs in haste. She does not stop nor stay. But see! Across the pathway a thorn tree towers high. Its thorns will surely catch her before she can go by. O prickly, stickly thorn tree, that stands to bar the way, draw back your boughs, cries Lucy, and let me pass, I pray. The thorn replies, my blossoms have dropped and left me bare, I'll let you pass if I may have that little frock you wear. Lucy gives frock to thornbush, here take my frock, cries Lucy, and gives it to the tree, then quick it draws aside its thorns and leaves the pathway free. Now on again runs Lucy. Indeed she is in haste. If she would reach her home by dark she has no time to waste. And now she sees a river, it flows so deep and wide there seems no way for Lucy to reach the other side. But look! A duck is sailing upon the flowing tide, his legs are strong for swimming, his back is flat and wide. Lucy in chemise standing by water. Lucy taking off shoes for duck. Oh pretty duck, cries Lucy, come here to me. If you will carry me across, how thankful I will be. In winter time, replies the duck, my toes get nipped with frost. If you will give your shoes to me, I'll carry you across. Lucy riding duck across water here. Take them quick, cries Lucy. Indeed I do not care. I have a stouter pair at home, and they will do to wear. And now see little Lucy on duck's back astride, as steadily he swims across unto the other side. Lucy, dressed in calico, meeting girls to play. Now on she runs, she reaches home, in through the door she creeps. Oh mother dear, I'm back again, with joyful tears she weeps. Now Lucy's grown more sensible, she's quite content when dressed in just the plain and simple things that mother thinks are best. Peacock the magic man opening door. Be careful, children, lest someday the magic man should come your way. Boy listening behind door to mother and friends' conversation. 'Tis very naughty for a child to try to hang about and overhear what people say, and find their secrets out. Our James was such a child as that. He loved to overhear the very things he knew were not intended for his ear. Nurse finds James listening on stairs. The older people often said, now James, please run away. You're always hanging round to hear what we may say. Once mother asked some ladies in to drink a cup of tea, and nurse said, James, don't go downstairs, come in the room with me. I want to hear them talk, said James. I like to listen, too. But that's exactly what Mama has told you not to do. I'll stay here, anyway, said James, and sat down on the stair, and when nurse found he would not move, she went and left him there. James sneaking downstairs to listen, and now she's gone, I'll creep downstairs into the hall, thought he, and listen at the parlor door, I'm sure no one will see. But James had hardly risen up before, all silently, someone came stealing down the hall as soft could be. James caught by ear by magic man, and then James felt that somebody had caught him by each ear. Ho! Cried a voice, so you're the boy who always wants to hear. Quite suddenly he felt his ears begin to stretch and spread, until, like any elephant's, they stood out from his head. James, with very large ears indeed, cowering from magic man. Let go, cried James, let go, I say. Take care what you're about. And then the hands had set him free, and quick he turned about. He peered around with frightened eyes. No one at all was there, only the clock that said tick-tock, and shadows on the stair. Into the nursery quick he ran. Oh, nursie! Only see! Somebody came and stretched my ears and scared me terribly. Nurse looked at him and gave a cry. Oh James! What shall we do? It must have been the magic man who did this thing to you. Nurse and mother see James' ears. I know when children misbehave he often comes about, and punishes their naughty ways if he can find them out. And now Mama is called in haste. She comes, and oh, cries she, whatever's happened to your ears? They are a sight to see. James tells her all the doleful tale, but 'Tis very plain the only thing is just to wait and hope they'll shrink again. If you are very patient, James, and if you will be good, perhaps someday your ears once more will look the way they should. James now covering ears at doorway instead of listening. Now James is different indeed, for ever since that day he's never wished to overhear what other people say, and if a secret's being told that he perchance might hear, he runs away, or else he stuffs a finger in each ear. James reading book in another room while others tell secrets. His ears are shrinking day by day, and soon I hope we'll see they are as small as any lad could wish his ears to be. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. End of the Project Gutenberg ebook Lazy Matilda, and Other Tales asterisk asterisk asterisk. Updated editions will replace the previous one, the old editions will be renamed. Creating the works from print editions not protected by U.S. copyright law means that no one owns a United States copyright in these works, so the Foundation, and you, can copy and distribute it in the United States without permission and without paying copyright royalties. Special rules, set forth in the general terms of use part of this license, apply to copying and distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept and trademark. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark, and may not be used if you charge for an ebook, except by following the terms of the trademark license, including paying royalties for use of the Project Gutenberg trademark. If you do not charge anything for copies of this ebook, complying with the trademark license is very easy. You may use this ebook for nearly any purpose, such as creation of derivative works, reports, performances and research. Project Gutenberg ebooks may be modified and printed and given away. You may do practically anything in the United States with ebooks not protected by U.S. copyright law. Redistribution is subject to the trademark license, especially commercial redistribution. Start. Full license. The full Project Gutenberg license. Please read this before you distribute or use this work to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting the free distribution of electronic works. By using or distributing this work, or any other work associated in any way with the phrase Project Gutenberg, you agree to comply with all the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license available with this file or online at www.gutenberg.org/license. Section 1. General Terms of Use and Redistributing Project Gutenberg Trademark Symbol Electronic Works 1.0. By reading or using any part of this Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work, you indicate that you have read, understand, agree to and accept all the terms of this license and intellectual property, trademark/copyright, agreement. If you do not agree to abide by all the terms of this agreement, you must cease using and return or destroy all copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in your possession. If you paid a fee for obtaining a copy of or access to a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work and you do not agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement, you may obtain a refund from the person or entity to whom you paid the fee as set forth in paragraph 1.e.8. 1.b Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark. It may only be used on or associated in any way with an electronic work by people who agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement. There are a few things that you can do with most Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works even without complying with the full terms of this agreement. See paragraph 1.c below. There are a lot of things you can do with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works if you follow the terms of this agreement and help preserve free future access to Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. See paragraph 1.e below. 1.c The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the Foundation or PGLAF, owns a compilation copyright in the collection of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Nearly all the individual works in the collection are in the public domain in the United States. If an individual work is unprotected by copyright law in the United States and you are located in the United States, we do not claim a right to prevent you from copying, distributing, performing, displaying or creating derivative works based on the work as long as all references to Project Gutenberg are removed. Of course, we hope that you will support the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting free access to electronic works by freely sharing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works in compliance with the terms of this agreement for keeping the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol name associated with the work. You can easily comply with the terms of this agreement by keeping this work in the same format with its attached full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license when you share it without charge with others. 1.d The copyright laws of the place where you are located also govern what you can do with this work. Copyright laws in most countries are in a constant state of change. If you are outside the United States, check the laws of your country in addition to the terms of this agreement before downloading, copying, displaying, performing, distributing or creating derivative works based on this work or any other Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. The Foundation makes no representations concerning the copyright status of any work in any country other than the United States. 1.e Unless you have removed all references to Project Gutenberg, 1.e.1. The following sentence, with active links to, or other immediate access to, the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license must appear prominently whenever any copy of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, any work on which the phrase Project Gutenberg appears, or with which the phrase Project Gutenberg is associated, is accessed, displayed, performed, viewed, copied or distributed. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, You will have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. 1.e.2 If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is derived from texts not protected by U.S. copyright law, does not contain a notice indicating that it is posted with permission of the copyright holder, the work can be copied and distributed to anyone in the United States without paying any fees or charges. If you are redistributing or providing access to a work with the phrase Project Gutenberg associated with or appearing on the work, you must comply either with the requirements of paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 or obtain permission for the use of the work and the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark as set forth in paragraphs 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.3 If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is posted with the permission of the copyright holder, your use and distribution must comply with both paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 and any additional terms imposed by the copyright holder. Additional terms will be linked to the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license for all works posted with the permission of the copyright holder found at the beginning of this work. 1.e.4 Do not unlink or detach or remove the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license terms from this work, or any files containing a part of this work or any other work associated with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. 1.e.5 Do not copy, display, perform, distribute or redistribute this electronic work, or any part of this electronic work, without prominently displaying the sentence set forth in paragraph 1.e.1 with active links or immediate access to the full terms of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. 1.e.6 You may convert to and distribute this work in any binary, compressed, marked up, non-proprietary or proprietary form, including any word processing or hypertext form. However, if you provide access to or distribute copies of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work in a format other than plain vanilla ASCII or other format used in the official version posted on the official Project Gutenberg trademark symbol website, www.gutenberg.org, you must, at no additional cost, fee or expense to the user, provide a copy, a means of exporting a copy, or a means of obtaining a copy upon request, of the work in its original plain vanilla ASCII or other form. Any alternate format must include the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license as specified in paragraph 1.e.1. 1.e.7 Do not charge a fee for access to, viewing, displaying, performing, copying or distributing any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works unless you comply with paragraph 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.8 You may charge a reasonable fee for copies of or providing access to or distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works provided that you pay a royalty fee of 20% of the gross profits you derive from the use of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works calculated using the method you already use to calculate your applicable taxes. The fee is owed to the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark, but he has agreed to donate royalties under this paragraph to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Royalty payments must be paid within 60 days following each date on which you prepare, or are legally required to prepare, your periodic tax returns. Royalty payments should be clearly marked as such and sent to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation at the address specified in Section 4. Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. You provide a full refund of any money paid by a user who notifies you in writing, or by email, within 30 days of receipt that he does not agree to the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. You must require such a user to return or destroy all copies of the works possessed in a physical medium and discontinue all use of and all access to other copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. You provide, in accordance with paragraph 1.f.3, a full refund of any money paid for a work or a replacement copy, if a defect in the electronic work is discovered and reported to you within 90 days of receipt of the work. You comply with all other terms of this agreement for free distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. 1.e.9. If you wish to charge a fee or distribute a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work or group of works on different terms than are set forth in this agreement, you must obtain permission in writing from the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the manager of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark. Contact the Foundation as set forth in Section 3 below. 1.f1.f.1. Project Gutenberg volunteers and employees expend considerable effort to identify, do copyright research on, transcribe and proofread works not protected by U.S. copyright law in creating the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection. Despite these efforts, Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, and the medium on which they may be stored, may contain defects such as, but not limited to, incomplete, inaccurate or corrupt data, transcription errors, a copyright or other intellectual property infringement, a defective or damaged disk or other medium, a computer virus, or computer codes that damage or cannot be read by your equipment. 1.f.2. Limited warranty, disclaimer of damages, except for the right of replacement or refund described in paragraph 1.f.3, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, and any other party distributing a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work under this agreement, disclaim all liability to you for damages, costs and expenses, including legal fees. You agree that you have no remedies for negligence, strict liability, breach of warranty or breach of contract except those provided in paragraph 1.f.3. You agree that the Foundation, the trademark owner, and any distributor under this agreement will not be liable to you for actual, direct, indirect, consequential, punitive or incidental damages even if you give notice of the possibility of such damage. 1.f.3 Limited right of replacement or refund. If you discover a defect in this electronic work within 90 days of receiving it, you can receive a refund of the money, if any, you paid for it by sending a written explanation to the person you received the work from. If you received the work on a physical medium, you must return the medium with your written explanation. The person or entity that provided you with the defective work may elect to provide a replacement copy in lieu of a refund. If you received the work electronically, the person or entity providing it to you may choose to give you a second opportunity to receive the work electronically in lieu of a refund. If the second copy is also defective, you may demand a refund in writing without further opportunities to fix the problem. 1.f.4 Except for the limited right of replacement or refund set forth in paragraph 1.f.3, this work is provided to you as is, with no other warranties of any kind, express or implied, including but not limited to warranties of merchantability or fitness for any purpose. 1.f.5 Some states do not allow disclaimers of certain implied warranties or the exclusion or limitation of certain types of damages. If any disclaimer or limitation set forth in this agreement violates the law of the state applicable to this agreement, the agreement shall be interpreted to make the maximum disclaimer or limitation permitted by the applicable state law. The invalidity or unenforceability of any provision of this agreement shall not void the remaining provisions. 1.f.6 Indemnity. You agree to indemnify and hold the foundation, the trademark owner, any agent or employee of the foundation, anyone providing copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in accordance with this agreement, and any volunteers associated with the production, promotion and distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, harmless from all liability, costs and expenses, including legal fees, that arise directly or indirectly from any of the following which you do or cause to occur. A. Distribution of this or any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. B. Alteration, modification, or additions or deletions to any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, and C. Any defect you cause. Section 2. Information about the mission of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol is synonymous with the free distribution of electronic works in formats readable by the widest variety of computers, including obsolete, old, middle-aged and new computers. It exists because of the efforts of hundreds of volunteers and donations from people in all walks of life. Volunteers and financial support to provide volunteers with the assistance they need are critical to reaching Project Gutenberg trademark symbol's goals and ensuring that the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection will remain freely available for generations to come. In 2001, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation was created to provide a secure and permanent future for Project Gutenberg trademark symbol and future generations. To learn more about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation and how your efforts and donations can help, See sections 3 and 4 and the Foundation information page at www.gutenberg.org. Section 3. Information about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation is a non-profit 501(c)(3) educational corporation organized under the laws of the state of Mississippi and granted tax-exempt status by the Internal Revenue Service. The Foundation's IN or Federal Tax Identification Number is 64-6221541. Contributions to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation are tax-deductible to the full extent permitted by U.S. federal laws and your state's laws. The Foundation's business office is located at 809 North 1500 West, Salt Lake City, UT 84116, 801-596-1887. Email contact links and up-to-date contact information can be found at the Foundation's website and official page at www.gutenberg.org/contact section 4. Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol depends upon and cannot survive without widespread public support and donations to carry out its mission of increasing the number of public domain and licensed works that can be freely distributed in machine-readable form accessible by the widest array of equipment including outdated equipment. Many small donations, $1 to $5,000, are particularly important to maintaining tax-exempt status with the IRS. The Foundation is committed to complying with the laws regulating charities and charitable donations in all 50 states of the United States. Compliance requirements are not uniform and it takes a considerable effort, much paperwork and many fees to meet and keep up with these requirements. We do not solicit donations in locations where we have not received written confirmation of compliance. To send donations or determine the status of compliance for any particular state, visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. While we cannot and do not solicit contributions from states where we have not met the solicitation requirements, we know of no prohibition against accepting unsolicited donations from donors in such states who approach us with offers to donate. International donations are gratefully accepted, but we cannot make any statements concerning tax treatment of donations received from outside the United States. U.S. laws alone swamp our small staff. Please check the Project Gutenberg web pages for current donation methods and addresses. Donations are accepted in a number of other ways including checks, online payments and credit card donations. To donate, please visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. Section 5. General information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Professor Michael S. Hart was the originator of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept of a library of electronic works that could be freely shared with anyone. For 40 years, He produced and distributed Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks with only a loose network of volunteer support. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks are often created from several printed editions, all of which are confirmed as not protected by copyright in the US unless a copyright notice is included. Thus, we do not necessarily keep ebooks in compliance with any particular paper edition. Most people start at our website, which has the main PG search facility, www.gutenberg.org. This website includes information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol, including how to make donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, how to help produce our new ebooks, and how to subscribe to our email newsletter to hear about new ebooks.